no longer a console war. If you've been paying attention to how the video game industry is currently moving, then you know that exclusivity is dying. What are they going for these days? Timed exclusivities. No one wants to limit themselves to one certain console, only the PC. No, it's crossplay. Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't you want more money? And the way to get more money is if you go to as many people as possible. Which is why I like what Microsoft is doing right now, and they're loosening the rules with their games and their exclusivities. And so far, with what they've done, we are seeing some very, very positive responses, very positive feedback. And people are saying that Microsoft is now dominating the PlayStation Store. And that's pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. And now we have the talk that I've already known, not even known, I'm not gonna say known, but I've already expected. I'm not even guessing. I'm expecting it to happen. Helldivers 2 will come to the Xbox. It's no reason with how popular that game is, it does not come to the Xbox. I see it in a year. I'll give it a year. But let's look at it this way. Let's look at what the West is doing right now and what the East is doing right now. We talked about a couple of things that Microsoft is doing, but let's look at everything as a whole. The Western video game industry. There has been a high push for the games as a service, the live service model, and it's kind of tiring now. Like, I enjoyed the idea whenever it was a multiplayer game, don't get me wrong, but now it's affecting single player games. No, you can't do that. They want you to spend as much time as you can, not playing the game, not enjoying the process of what you are doing. No, they want you to log into the game, a single player game, and they want you to complete dailies and weeklies and try to finish not even like time trials, challenges. No, they want you to just finish a daily quest. And everybody wants to include a store with their game and their own premium currencies just to make sure they can get as much money out of you and doing daily store resets. They want you to come into this game and spend as much time, spend as much money as you can, just to make sure they can just pull out every single dollar before they lose you as a customer. And that's a really garbage way to make your game currently. We should keep these separated. We don't need single player games and multiplayer games being a live service. You can do whatever you want with multiplayer games. That's your choice. But single player games, they tend to fail with the live service model because no one's going to stick around for that long to see new updates. No one's going to come back to Suicide Squad, or as we have already seen with Avengers and frickin' now the newest problem, Star Wars Outlaws, because you aren't supposed to be looking for retention in a single player game. You're supposed to put out a good product that everybody enjoys, like a movie. If you put out a good movie, you'll always have people returning to rewatch it because it was good, not because they were forced to watch it. Now, a really big thing with the Western video game industry, inclusivity. Everybody has to be in the game. Everybody can be in the game. If you are not in the game, you will be put into the game because you matter. Except if you're Arab, apparently. I mean, we can look at just the mess with the whole modeling, the 3D model faces, and how they decide to change a little bit to make it more inclusive, to make sure that everybody gets a part of it in the games. It doesn't matter. You can make anybody look ugly because there are ugly people in this world. But it's getting to a very high level where now we are seeing a push, kind of, where you look at the male models. Let's take, for example, the Star Wars game, Jedi Survivor. We can look at the model for that game, and it's a pretty close replica. It's almost like a one-to-one model with the original source material. But then you look at Mary Jane from Spider-Man 2, and you look at Star Wars Outlaws and the model they took. They messed up with it just a little bit, and it's starting to show, and it's kind of in a sad state because for the sake of inclusivity, it has affected our beloved Pokemon Go. Why? It didn't need it. I don't know who's asking for it. I don't understand why we need to have our model be a fat person. The whole idea of Pokemon Go was to go and get our asses out of the house and go and catch Pokemons to stay fit. That was the idea of the game, but I guess now you can be a fat person because spoofing exists. We can't forget about Sweet Baby Inc. Ooh. Sweet Baby Inc. and their Streisand effect that decided that everybody should go and ban this person for making a Steam account or a Steam group, and then everybody started joining that Steam group. And I wanted to look at that Steam group because I'm actually interested. I want to know what games did they have a hand in. Okay, so we got Space Tow Truck, April 20th. The Crew Motorfest. I didn't even know that even came out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a very big fan of car games, but still, The Crew. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Afterlove, Gotham Knights, Shadow Gambit. Shadow Gambit is a special one because apparently, because of their interaction with this game, the company died. The studio that made the game is now shutting down, so I'm wondering if to what level that is true, because I have a working theory, and I'll talk about it after looking at this. This is the list of all the games. I decided apparently they didn't have all the games on the Steam group, so that was very confusing, so I decided to look at the games from here. From the list of games that they worked on, I'm not gonna lie, maybe I only recognize maybe 4 or 5. Let's see. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Gotham Knights, God of War Ragnarok. Okay, Marvel Spider-Man, Alan Wake 2, Suicide Squad. Now, here is my working theory. My working theory with the whole Sweet Baby Inc. thing, people have a short memory. The moment you put out the game and everybody enjoys it, everybody will forget about it. Yeah, there will be those weird things in the middle of it. I understand that people will get confused by those, but then when the game comes out and it's good, no one cares. But if your game is bad, and then it turns out that Sweet Baby Inc. worked on that game, it just acts like a multiplier. It just doesn't kill the game, it demolishes everybody that worked on it. Which brings me to the easiest solution for whenever you have these consultants on this game. Just make a good game. People forget. Make a good game, they'll forget about it. They'll complain 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It'll be really good advertising. Free advertising. And then once the game comes out, good, everybody forgets about it. But then if you have a release like Suicide Squad, my goodness, you will not live that down. I mean, just look at this video about how they were talking about the Joker.
Not only has he got to figure himself out, but he's figuring out his place in this new world and this new squad.
He hadn't reached supervillain status before Brainiac invaded, so, he's still a bit less experienced.
I think we've taken him back to the kind of more vaudeville roots of Joker. He's masking insecurities with traditional Joker behavior. But deep down, he's not sure who he is yet.
Yeah, it doesn't really work, does it? Now, I'm not saying that, oh my god, West is bad, Japan is beautiful, give me all the waifus. No, Japan has its issues too, and they're slowly showing up. Greed is becoming rampant, and there are a lot of legal issues currently happening. Everybody has forgotten about this, and I do not want to forget about it because it's still like an insane concept to me. Who in their right mind thought it was a good idea to try and sell New Game Plus in an Ultimate or Deluxe edition? Who does that? The biggest plus that I can say is the West really like the idea of modding. Japan, though, not really. Case in point, Nintendo. They do not want you to do anything with what they have built. If they find that you have been modifying or you've been emulating or anything like that, they will come for you and they will destroy you. Which also comes back to the whole thing where now emulators are becoming more and more mainstream. So we are getting emulators for the Game Boy Advance and stuff like that on the iPhone. Now, how far we're going to go with that, we'll have to see. But if the device is modern and it's still being supported, you cannot emulate it. Just do it properly, wait until no more support, the device is dead, and then emulate it. The only one-up that I can see is the developers, the studios don't really have that much creative control when talking to other people in social media. So if they do it, they tend to do it anonymously as much as they can. They do not want to damage the name of the studios. So if they do something like that, they for a fact will get removed immediately, as they should. In the West, the moment they start talking, it just becomes a shit show. And it happens more than often. It's kind of surprising. But at least when it comes to the West and the East, at least the West aren't as crazy as fans as the Japanese, because the Japanese will take it many steps too far. And we should be just glad we are not at that level in the West. And that's what I think about it. It really is not a console war anymore. Hey, if you like the video or you agree, why not drop a like and subscribe? If you didn't like the video, I am not going to tell you not to dislike it. You can go right ahead. And I hope to see you here next time. See ya.